IVAR BJORNSON and Einar Selvik are back with Hugsjá. Norse history? Oh yeah. Ancient Norse instruments? Yeah. Being proud of one's heritage? Hell yeah. Fully commissioned by the Björgen International Festival? Yeah. Giants and deities of Norse mythology? Fuck yeah. Now, before I get started, if you're new to the channel and you haven't already, subscribe! Hugsjá consists of Einar Bjornsson from Enslaved and Einar Selvik from Wardruna. Both great bands in their own rights. Wardruna I particularly got into, thanks to Mr. O'Connor. Mr. O! Try doing that in public. This is the follow-up to 2016's Hugsjá, which was commissioned by the Björgen International Festival, as was this. I believe it was exploring the heritage of Norway, etc, etc. And it was all done, much like Wardruna is done, using a lot of ancient instruments. For example, let me just read out Einar Selvik, by the way, who does lead vocals, Kravik lyre, tagla harper, goat horn, bronze lure, flute and percussion. Those are some of the instruments you can find on here. The word Hugsja means to see with or within the mind, according to the booklet. And it reflects the idea that one's mind has the potential to see further than the eyes can reach. By weaving together indigenous and contemporary thoughts, sounds and instruments, they are exploring the distant history and traditions along coastal Norway. So the record is described as a journey along the island-dotted coast of their native land that combines a continuity of beliefs and traditions from its earliest settlers into the present day. Ivar and Einar also worked alongside other musicians, language experts, local experts and archaeologists. Good Lord! The scope of these gentlemen is... An archaeologist to flesh out nearly forgotten deities, myths, history and traditions. Fuck yeah! Now it appears that the album, I think the album's exploring the beginnings of Norway, if that's a thing. But the album's actually over 11 songs. It's about an hour 6 minutes, I believe, and it's split into 3 parts. Regin is part 1, which is the reigning powers. Then we have Fundin Norge, which is finding Norway. And then we have Dane, which translates as the dead. For anyone who's expecting a metal album, this is not a metal album, though there are certainly elements of that within. Come on, anything with Norse mythology, I'm all about it. But musically speaking, this is much more traditional music, sort of folksy, with elements of electronic, and it's something special. This album really is something else. This one really takes you on a journey. So rather than listen to me talk shit, let's get into the songs. Track number 1 is the title track itself, Hugsjá, which translates as Mind View. Slow pulsing fade in before a folksy guitar eschews a time gone by. History in that. Much like Rammstein, I love the fact that the lyrics are done in their native tongue, because the vocals kind of become almost like another instrument. I kind of like being lost in the mystery of it. I kind of like not knowing what the lyrics mean, but the lyrics are also in English in the booklet and you've read them, which I'll now read. Inhale, look into the mind, steps made with your mind, grasping memories. Exhale, let your mind flow free. Ride the winds. Up next we have Hugsja, which translates as radiance. Bit more upbeat this one, with some nice percussion to really get things moving. I'm not quite sure what the instrument they're using is called, but it sounds kind of like a saxophone. A big fuck-off saxophone played by the god of wind. Guitars join in on this one, and the tone is not dissimilar to Pink Floyd's Brick in the Wall. Pink Floyd are one of Ivar Bjornson's major influences. Swore my oaths in the hall of the highest, all below bowing, for the radiating god. Sorry, I was distracted by a beautiful sun there. I'm going to talk about songs 3 and 4 together, because that's really how they should be listened to, because they really should be listened to together. What? At the same time? And yes, the two songs are Ni dotra av hav and Ni modra av sol. Probably butchering that. But the first one translates as 9 daughters of the sea. Here we start really in with the Norse mythology. Real feeling of history and mythology on this one. I just said that. This one's in reference to the 9 daughters of Aegir and Ran. Bunch of sea deities and shit. I believe the actual 9 daughters themselves, or the names for them, refer to specific types of waves. I could be wrong, but I probably am. Over the deep halls of Aegir, 9 maiden play freely, swathing softly man another, take them to their soaking grave. Don't want to fuck with them bitches. And the second part, Ni modra av sol, refers to the 9 mothers of the sun, which a lot of historians and those sorts of people believe is actually the same 9 daughters of the waves. I'm panicking. Referring to the 9 mothers of Heimdallr. Who that is, I don't know. I didn't research that far. A real nice drum pattern. Dink, 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 dink. That ain't the drum pattern, but it's a drum pattern. Aren't they all drum patterns in a way? Some great father. Some great drums come into this one at around the 3.5 minute mark, as well as some really amazing haunted vocals. Ooh, they sounded much better than that. In darkness born, of darkness born, from scarlet waves of morning, rising as victorious, each and every day of the rotation. You not want to mess with these ladies. And that ends the first part of the album, Regin, the Reigning Power. The next 4 songs make up Funding Norwegar, Finding Norway. And the first song, or track number 5, is Thorn Yacht, which there is no translation for. This one starts out what I assume is the Kravik lyre. I ain't got a clue. And features some militaristic drumming. The vocals on this one are some of my favourite on the album. Thorn Yacht in Norse mythology was an ancient giant and king, and his children were Aegir, ruler of the sea, we mentioned earlier on, Logi, fire giant, and Kari, god of wind. Giants I remember, primal born, from frost and snowy mound. Thorn Yacht's people rose, children of wind, sea and fire. Nat Segler is up next, which translates as night sailor. This is the first introduction of some electronic elements, which are used to great effect, I thought. The track builds as we learn of the night sailor. North went the trek, tending and living, aware of the world it was already written, thoughts sent still home, together, lacking an end, cosmos upon cosmos. No idea what that means. Next up is Nitland, or New Land, as it's translated. There's a real nice distorted bass on this one. Starts off very understated, then blooms into joyous vocals that reflect the discovery of the new land. You smug twat. It pulls and it beckons, aware that it's waiting. Head out, the ocean collects. Soil is all that matters, leaving it still. The song from within, chimes of dusk and journey. Fucking great. Nordvegen is up next, which translates as the North Way. This one had a really folky kind of Zeppelin Friends type of vibe to it. The imagery that this one conjures up is immense. Aegir, the sea, provides life and shelter, but at times, Ran, Aegir's wife, bit of a bitch by all accounts, personification of the sea who is associated with a net that she uses to capture seagoers, will harvest when Hlagsfelgs, the corpse swallower, fuck yeah, a giant who takes the form of an eagle, wings beat, they may not come home. Damn! And that ends part 2 as we enter part 3, being Dane. Dane, or the dead. Next track is Hugsj, translated as Vista. Some glorious vocals on this one. Crossing the trail, speaking with silence of the people which bore you. Do you know what they mean? Yeah? What? Vistas and that? Fair enough. Up is Oscar, or Ashes as it's translated. This is another one that's got a kind of a Zeppelin-esque vibe. IVAR BJORNSON does a great job behind the kit on this one as well, as he does throughout the entire album. So, well, not just him. The percussion on this album is absolutely fantastic. It really does conjure up images of Norse people playing drums. Heavily based around the instrumentation, as lyrics are few. Where have the lyrics gone? Has anyone seen the lyrics? There was definitely a few elements of this that reminded me of Cockeye Orvis by Sepultura as well. A song that I continually reference, as it's one that I know. There's also a good use of the tagle harper and throat singing towards the outro, as well as some flames flickering off into the distance, fading like life itself. Of the world of the ashes, by fire, by ship. Final song of the album, Heilig Fjell, which translates as Holy Mountains. This one starts out with the wind. The winds of change? No. Final lines of the album. Guest of Dane's Hall, until Norns weave another thread for you. By wind you came, and wind you shall be. Well, the Danes apparently were dwarves, I think. Or a dwarf, and Dane was also known as the dead. It's all Wikipedia. Norns were female beings who rule the destiny of gods and men, I'm guessing. Builds to a dramatic climax, which fades out to the winds that brought us here. Perhaps signifying the end, or perhaps the beginning. I don't know. And there you have my take on Hugsja. Bearing in mind I'm not a scholar of Norse mythology, or anything else for that matter. I'd like to clarify, I absolutely loved this album. There's something really special about this. It really takes you on a journey to a special place. It's clear that the lyrics, the music, everything about this holds a very special place in the hearts of all those who created it. It's dedicated to their land of Norway. I always have a huge amount of respect for people who are very proud of where they come from and celebrate it and relish and love their culture and express it well and showcase it to the rest of the world. I love that sort of stuff. So yeah, really enjoyed this album. For me, I would give this a solid 9 out of 10. The ratings are back. Not the views though. Definitely check this one out. Next album I'll be reviewing will be Amir by Ihsahn. Really looking forward to hearing that one. Should have my copy tomorrow. Very much looking forward to that. Get that review out as soon as I can. Also, I'm going to review the new Parkway Drive album. And I'm going to start back with my subscriber requests. So towards the end of the week I'm going to be doing Kill to This. Deviate? Is that what it's called? I think it's called Deviate. Anyway, for Cheer Yourself to Death. Your review is on its way, my friend. So, plenty of videos still to come. Make sure you check out the Hugsjá album. And yeah, like, subscribe, share, comment, blah, 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 blah. Do the fucking thing.